Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our virtual celebration of our graduates. Can somebody just give me the heads up if you can hear me? All right, great. Well, again, welcome this afternoon to everyone who's joined us today to celebrate our graduates. And gosh, that word graduates, doesn't that sound so nice? You did it, you guys. No longer will we have to call you 3L students or 3L class. We now happily get to call you graduates. And most importantly, we get to call you our colleagues, which makes us all so happy. I know many of you, we have all kinds of emotions today. All of us want to be together so much in person to celebrate such an important day in your professional life. And unfortunately, we're going to have to wait to another day to be together. But that does not mean that we can't rejoice today in all your many accomplishments. Before I say a few words to the class of 2020, I just want to be sure to thank your families and your friends and your loved ones. I mean, you would not be here today without all of these very special people and the support of those people. And I hope sometime before the day ends, that you will make sure to thank them yourselves for everything they did to get you where you are today. I know those people love you and they are so proud and happy for you. And to all you mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Being a mother myself, I know what a special gift it is to see a child graduate and reach these types of milestones. So happy Mother's Day to all your mothers. Now, I want to just say a few words to the class of 2020. Your law school family is so proud of you. I mean, it's hard enough to go to law school in regular times, but you guys did it in a pandemic. So it's just amazing. You've made history. And you are really going to remember the end of your law school career. Sometimes when things like this happen to me in my life, I'm tempted to ask myself, like, why is this happening? This isn't fair. Why did this have to be this way? But I try to resist those negative thoughts that might come up, and instead I think about, what can I learn from this? And I'm sure all of us in these last few months have just learned a lot. And for one thing that I've really learned, it's that life is so fragile and that we're put on this earth to help people. And your JD allows you to do just that. I cannot think of a better degree to help people. Now, I want you to kind of remember way back at orientation, if you can remember back in that fall of 2017, we were in the same boat together. I was going to be the new dean, and you all were going to go onto this law school journey, and we were nervous and we were excited, and we just didn't know how all this was going to work out. But remember back then, I don't know if you can remember, but I told you that earning this degree is really a privilege. Not everybody gets to have a JD, but with it comes a great responsibility. And I wonder if any of you remember that I shared with you a story that the Irish people, I'm Irish, and the Irish people tell a story of about a man who gets to the gates of heaven and he asks to be let in. And St. Peter says, well, of course I'll let you in, but just show me your scars. And the man says, scars? I don't have any scars. And St. Peter says, oh, of course you do. Just show me the scars and you'll come in. And the man is, I have no scars, St. Peter. I don't know what that it means. And finally, after this goes on for a while, St. Peter looks at him and says, what a pity. Was there nothing worth fighting for? As students, I have seen you fight for people. I've seen you help people in the clinics. I've seen you help people in your externships. I've seen you help people with your pro bono opportunities and get those scars. You have fought for things. I've witnessed your leaders who gave of themselves to help their classmates. And I've seen you help your law school family when someone needs it. continue to help others with your powerful new degree that you're getting today. You can make such a huge difference in people's lives because you have that JD. And I think people need more help than ever in these trying times. So, what a great day to get a JD because you can really make a difference for all the people who are suffering. And then, how satisfying is it going to be one day when you get old like me and you reflect back on your wonderful career and you're going to look and you're going to see you have lots of scars to be proud about? Now, it is my privilege to introduce you to your Student Bar Association President, Catherine Pettis, who has just done a phenomenal job for you all this year. So I am going to turn it over to Catherine so she can say a few words.
Hey y'all, thank y'all so much for joining us today. I know that this is not the celebration that we thought of when we started graduation or started law school 3 years ago. And I'm excited for the day that we do get to walk across the stage, even though we don't know when that is yet. I have enjoyed the last 3 years. I know it's been challenging, especially the last few months, but I've enjoyed getting to know all of y'all, and I'm so proud of our class. And I'm so grateful for this semester. It was hard and difficult, but our faculty and staff and administration went above and beyond to lead us through this pandemic. And so we would not be here today without them. And we wouldn't be here today without the support of our family and friends. So to family and friends that are watching us, thank you so much for all that you have done. I really do wish we could all be together celebrating, but I love that we have technology, and I'm grateful that we get to celebrate today via Zoom or YouTube. So yeah, that's all that I have today. I'll keep it short. Congratulations. I'm so proud of each and every one of you.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Now, all you 3Ls, we're going to miss you so much. Our graduates, I need to say graduates, we're going to miss you so much. But there's a few other people that we're really going to miss because they are also leaving us with you. So I'm inviting a few of them just to say some quick remarks to you because I know they mean so much to this class and to all of us. So I would first like to call on our wonderful Professor Hofheimer, who has won many awards and I couldn't even list everything he's done and how he has helped the students. That's what I most admire about Professor Hofheimer is how student-centered he is. So I'm just going to call on him for a second to tell you some remarks.
Hello, Dean. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Mike.
Thank you, Dean Duncan. I want to begin by thanking Dean Duncan. The law school has not had any official way to recognize your leadership over the past few years and over the past few months, but your leadership has been extraordinary and much appreciated. So I want to begin by thanking you for your expert, competent leadership, particularly at this time of crisis. But more than that, to thank you for your wisdom, your vision, and your compassion in your leadership. And I know I'm speaking for all of the faculty and for the whole law school community in saying thank you. I want to also just add my words of praise and congratulations to the graduating class. There has been no class in the history of this law school, which goes back a ways, which has made its faculty more proud of them at the time of graduation, and of which the faculty have had more reason to be proud than this class. So I congratulate you. And now for my speech, I have 3 points. The dean suggested I've been alive long enough and teaching long enough, I may have some wisdom to pass on. So I've got 3 rules of living I want to pass on to you. I will say, though, that I don't observe these myself. I just try to, so I can invite you to join with me in trying to observe these. The first one of these is, of course, to speak out against injustice when you see it. absolutely. Who don't hear this. That's part of what your profession endows you with power to do. But the rule that I'm passing on to you is that you don't always have to say what you're thinking. You don't always have to say what you're thinking. And I'll illustrate this with the young lawyer downstate appearing in front of judge who, after making a series of terrible, unlawful rulings, had made one last final ruling that the young lawyer just couldn't abide. The lawyer asked to approach the bench and said, "Judge, I wonder what would happen if I said that last ruling is the most asinine, biased, contemptible ruling I've ever heard of." And the judge explained that if the young lawyer said that, the judge would find the lawyer in contempt of court and sentence him to incarceration. So the lawyer went back to counsel table and then asked to approach the bench again and said, "Judge, I just want to know what would happen if I was thinking that was the most asinine, biased, and contemptible ruling I've ever heard of." And the judge explained to the young lawyer that nothing would happen. We have something called freedom of conscience, and nothing would happen. So the young lawyer returned to counsel table and thought for a minute, and then stood up again and said, "May it please the court, I would like the record to show I was thinking it." So you don't always have to say what you're thinking. That's rule number one. Rule number two is try not to get angry, or better yet, don't try to get angry. You will get angry. If you are committed to justice, you will be angry every day. But don't seek it out. Don't welcome it into your heart. Don't build it into theories of beware of getting even, beware of retaliation, beware of retribution, beware of justification, beware of holy wars, beware of just wars. Try not to get angry. And I'll illustrate this with a scene from a movie by Akira Kurosawa, in which a man knows he's dying of cancer. He's the only one who knows he's dying of cancer. And he's a low-level government functionary who's trying to build a park. And he's coming out of a meeting that just turned down one of his requests with a younger colleague who does not know that he's dying of cancer. And the younger colleague is furious and is turning to the man who's dying of cancer and says, "Why aren't you angry? Doesn't it just make you angry? He made such an irrational, stupid decision." And the man tells the younger man, "I can't hate. I don't have that kind of time. I can't afford to hate. I don't have that kind of time." And the two things about that: first, it links anger to hatred, which is something we need to be reminded of. And it also reminds us that maybe none of us have that kind of time. So this will be a lifetime effort, but try not to get angry. Don't try to get angry. And maybe if we're a little less angry and there's a little bit less hate in our lives, maybe we'll be open to a different message. And my third lesson for right living is don't push that button. And I'm not talking about the send button. You all know by now, when you get those crazy emails accusing you of wrongdoing that are full of lies, and you write a really long response, don't push that button. No, that's hard enough, but the button that I'm talking about that's nearly impossible to force is the buy now button. So my advice to you is don't push that buy now button. Wait. Now, I don't have a story or a scene from a movie to illustrate this, but I want to impress on you the importance of not pushing that buy now button, because you may regret it. Your roommates may regret it, and your partner or spouse may regret it. And to illustrate this, don't buy now. I just want to show you what you can get if you disregard my message. So those are my three rules. Don't buy now. Try not to get angry. and you don't always have to say what you're thinking. Good luck with those. Congratulations, and stay in touch.
Thank you, Professor Hoffheimer. You always have great advice. So thank you, and we are going to miss you for sure. The next person I'm going to introduce is, you all would not be graduating without our registrar, because our registrar is is the person who keeps all of you on track and does those audits for us and tells us that you are able to graduate. So I want to present to you now Eddie Upton, who will be retiring in just a couple months. So Eddie, would you like to say a few words to your graduates?
Yes, and can you all hear me? Perfect. Okay. Congratulations, class of 2020. I can't think of a better place than the University of Mississippi School of Law to conclude my work career. I have been moved most every day by the appreciation and the generosity shown to me by the students and the faculty. Most days when I do go to our law building, I feel a sense of peace. The peace that comes from the fulfillment that I'm doing a good job. It's not just a job. I believe it's a service to future lawyers and to those training our future lawyers. Of course, there are many other days which are not so peaceful, like exam periods. My least favorite time of each semester, as I'm sure it is yours. But law school exams are over for all of us. I wish you much success in the future on both your bar exams and finding that job that you love to do. I know I've been blessed this past decade in my work life. I really hope you find that too. I've thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you these past few years. I think the most common 6 words I hear is, "I hope I'm not bothering you," as you walk into my office. To which I always reply, "Of course you're not bothering me. I actually really enjoy helping you, answering your questions, fixing issues where I can, and often just listening to you." The gratitude, kindness, and friendship you've shown me these past few years will always be my most fondest memories of my years as your law registrar. Congratulations, thank you, and may you all have a blessed life.
Thank you so much, Eddie, and we will miss you as well. And then the last person I'm going to call on for remarks took herself out of the program because she's so conscientious and so modest, and said, "Oh, it's already going to be too long. I'm going to take myself out." And I said, "Macy Edmondson, those students want to hear from you. They love you as their dean of students." So I am making Macy's also address you because I know how much you all will miss being around her every day.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me? Perfect. I have been at the law school for over 15 years, and I am looking at all the little squares with everybody's smiling faces in it. And I just remember I was in admissions when you all first came in. And I remember when several of you made your first visit to our law school. And that's just crazy to see you now, and you're graduating and you're going to go out and be real life lawyers. So it has really been a privilege to celebrate all of the good things that have happened in your lives. And then also to help you whenever maybe it wasn't so happy, when there were things that you needed distance with. I can't tell you how proud I am of you. You have overcome so much. I really wish we were in the Grove today because this is perfect weather, and that's what I'm always stressed out about right now. But I know that when we get to celebrate in the future, we will love it no matter what, and we will celebrate with you. So congratulations.
Thank you, Macy. Let's give her a round of applause too. Thank you. Now we're at a really fun part of the program. We're going to give some awards, which is always really a great part of this day. And so I am going to call on Catherine Pettis to present some SBA awards first.
Hi. So today I will be presenting our Outstanding Faculty Award. Um, and that goes to Professor John Zarnetsky. Our 3Ls voted on that award, and we are so happy to present that to you, Professor Zarnetsky. Our Outstanding Staff Award goes to Katie Hester.
Oh my God, that's such a surprise. I'm so amazed. Wow.
Y'all kill. So that goes to Katie Hester. We also are presenting 3 distinguished Dean's Distinguished Service Awards. And I'm double checking those right now. Those go to Kenesha Hackett, Lakeith Faulkner, and Scott Spielman for all the hard work and service that you have done for our law school student body over the last 3 years. We are so appreciative of you and everything that y'all have done, as well as for Professor Hester and Professor Zarnetsky. We are so grateful. And yes, so congratulations on your awards. Sorry we weren't able to present you with a physical award today, but we will have those for you once this virus ends.
Yes, congratulations to all of you. What great recipients. And Catherine and I had the privilege at the last faculty meeting to give another award, which is the Ben Hardy Faculty Excellence Award, and that went to Professor Hoffheimer. So Catherine and I are thrilled to be able to honor him this way. So, and I know the students might not know that yet. So we are very excited. Now I'm going to call on your Senior Associate Dean, who just is amazing and gosh, has done so much work during these last few months, always works really hard, but has just been on my cell phone with me probably every hour. I feel like I call him. So Ben Cooper is going to give some faculty awards now.
Great, thank you, Dean Duncan. I've just very briefly first wanted to say that one of the first things that I saw this morning when I opened my email was the email from the law school with the speeches, which were all wonderful, but I just had to give a special shout out to Jessica Jordan and her song, which was an amazing way to start the day. If anyone hasn't watched it, and was an inspiring way to start the day. So thank you for giving us that. You have, I know it's not supposed to be graduation, that'll happen later, but I figured I wanted to celebrate with you all with my attire, but I know we're still gonna come back and be together again in person. You have been an incredible class, and it's my great pleasure to get to announce some awards that were voted on by the faculty. So the first award, actually this was not voted on by the faculty, we had no vote. The Robert Farley Award, it goes automatically to the graduating student with the highest GPA in that class, and the winner is Karen Lott. The next award, so the next 3 were voted on by the faculty. The John Robin Bradley Award goes to a graduating student whose commitment to social justice holds great promise for the future of Mississippi and the nation, and the faculty voted to give this award to Kenesha Hackett. Okay, the Phi Delta Phi Award goes to the graduating law student whose character, scholarship, personality, and general ability, in the opinion of the law faculty, best exemplify the attributes of a successful lawyer. And the winner of that award is Chadwick Lamar. The last award that I get to announce is the Outstanding Student Award, which is presented by the law faculty to the most outstanding student in the graduating class, and the faculty voted for Karen Lott. Congratulations, everyone, and congratulations to our award winners and to the entire class.
Thank you, Dean Cooper, and congratulations, students who won those awards. Gosh, you all are just amazing individuals, and we're very, very proud of you all. We have a few more awards, though, to give. I'm going to call on Tucker Harrington, who will give some clinic awards.
Good afternoon, everyone. I too want to extend my congratulations, but also say I'm really sorry to miss graduation. I love it. Every year, Desiree and I, Professor Hensley and I, get dressed. We walk over from our house. The last several years, not consecutively, but I've been able to hood people, and I love it. I really miss it. I miss seeing the students I know well who were in my class. I'm sorry we can't get together, but congratulations. Let me have the attention, if I might, of everybody, but particularly all of the students who participated in the clinics either in the fall or the spring of this past academic year. I want to tell you, it's going to take me a couple minutes to warm up to get to the actual presentation of the award. But in the middle of April, I lost a nice, good friend of mine who I'd known for some years, Barbara Babcock. She was 81. She had had cancer for several years. She was the first female faculty member at Stanford Law School. And earlier in her career, she had been the director of the Public Defender Service. I know some of you in my class will recognize her name, and you'll recognize this piece of her history. When she was in law school, one of her first summers, she clerked at a law firm in DC, which at the time was Arnold, Porter, and Fortis. She clerked the summer before oral argument in what became the landmark case of Gideon v. Wainwright. She went on shortly after that to become the director of the Public Defender Service in Washington, D.C., where I worked, though years later, and that's actually how I got to know her. But in 1971, just after she had become the director of what we call PDS, there were huge demonstrations in Washington, D.C., which harkens back to something Mike said about wars. There were huge May Day demonstrations, anti-Vietnam demonstrations, and there were really, in the first time in this country for a long time, mass arrests in DC. And Barbara, as the director of the Public Defender Service, suddenly had to sort of on the fly determine how she and this, at the time, relatively new agency were going to defend all these people who had been out demonstrating against what they thought was an unjust war. And as her obituary in the Washington Post read, she jumped in and she established the contours of what was really a new body of law in situations of mass arrest during mass demonstrations. So what I wanted to say to you, in part because of Barbara Babcock's obituary in the Post, was that as students in the clinic this year, unbeknownst to you and to me and to all of us, you all also started to establish the contours of what all of this was going to look like, from participating in the clinics in this very odd and disturbing time, to how to continue to be a good colleague to your fellow clinic students, to the faculty and to the directors, and of course, how you were going to continue to be a lawyer for the clients that we took on. Some of you in my class may recall that early in the semester, every semester, we read one of Barbara Babcock's law review articles, the one where she lists a series of categories. And I'm looking at some of the people in my class. You need to start nodding your heads now as though you actually remember. But you remember those categories: the garbage collector, the egotist, the social worker, right? She lists those categories, and we have a nice discussion about where you fit. Well, there's a new category now. There's a new category. It's the COVID-19 category. And for better or for worse, you find yourselves fitting solidly within the COVID-19 category. What's different, though, about the COVID-19 category is you didn't get to choose it. It chose you. And also, to harken back to a couple of things that Professor Hoffheimer said, that's also sometimes like the practice of law. You know, sometimes you get to choose your clients, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get to pick the battles, sometimes you don't. You get put into these categories, and I hope in your practice that you flourish in them the same way that you flourished this past spring. I want to say, if you can give me just a couple more minutes, I want to talk about a particular case in my clinic, but I think it was representative of what I understand to be the spirit that all of you students, both fall and spring, exhibited. We had a case that we knew we were going to have to file a big post-conviction pleading in sometime in March. We knew that in the fall. We knew that at the beginning of this spring, but like everything else, we didn't actually look at the date, the specific date when that fell until later. And it fell on the Friday of spring break. And my colleague and I, Sandy Levick, started to worry at the beginning of this semester because we thought, where are all the students going to be at spring break when we have to put this big pleading together? And then as things started heating up with the COVID-19 problem, we thought, oh my goodness, you know, we've got this pandemic, we've got a filing, where are the students? We need help. Every single one of the students assigned to that case stayed in Oxford during spring break. Every single one of them took trips to West Point, to Jackson, to Pearl to visit the client. We got the pleading filed. It is a case for the ages, not only because of the facts of the case, but because of the circumstances of its filing. I think the students that worked on that case in the fall, that got it teed up for the filing, the students that worked on that case in the spring that showed up on spring break, I think is emblematic of the spirit of all of the students in the clinics, both in the fall and the spring. And so with that long warm up, I would like to award this year's Bobby Wood Clinic Award to all, each and every single one of you, of the clinic students who participated in the clinical program this academic year. You deserve it. You should put it on your resume. And when an employer or somebody asks you about it in the coming months, in the next year, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and they say, hey, clinic student 2019, 2020, you must have been really special. You somehow distinguished yourself from all the other clinic students to win this award. You should say with pride, no, 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 no. I didn't distinguish myself at all from anybody else. What I did was I became a team member, a clinic lawyer, a new student lawyer, and I worked alongside of all the other people who won the very same award that year. It was a special year. It was a special year. You're special clinic students. You deserve it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Tucker. And now I'm going to turn it over to our space law. I think Michelle and Charles are on the call with us today, and I think they've got some awards.
Hi, Susan. Yeah, thank you. First, let me just start by saying that's a really tough act to follow, but I think Professor Stotler and I are really just so honored to be a part of the University of Mississippi School of Law system. We're so honored to be the stewards of the Center for Air and Space Law. And we're so honored to take this tradition of excellence in law and excellence in space law to the next step. And so thank you for welcoming us 2 years ago. And we are just really excited to be a part of this. We're so excited for you. And I have to just echo, and I know Professor Stotler joins me in echoing what everyone has said about what an amazing and resilient class you are, and how much you have been through this spring, and how gracefully and elegantly each and every one of you has made it through. So with that, let me talk a little bit about the Space Law program. So Stephen Garove was a space law education pioneer. He developed the first regular space law course in American legal education, the very first, and built a core program right here at the University of Mississippi dealing with all aspects of space exploration. After the first moon landing in 1969, Garove organized the first space law conference in North America, on the legal implications of humans landing on the moon right on this campus in Oxford, Mississippi. And in 1973, he founded our Journal of Space Law, the world's very first journal dedicated to space law. So each year, the Journal of Space Law awards the Stephen Garov Excellence in Space Law Prize to the journal editor who best demonstrates a dedication and commitment to the articulation and the evolution of space law. And I want to really highlight that evolution because that is something I think we teach really well at Mississippi, is that law is an evolution and that we are going to look for justice, not just answers in old books. We're going to find the truth. So today, Professor Stotler and I are very pleased to present this award to Jeremy Grunert in recognition of his contributions to the Journal of Space Law and his scholarship in the field of space law. Perhaps because he was new to the field and study of space law, Jeremy joined us in August with a voracious appetite for space law research. Undeterred by our very long reading lists and longer space law books, Jeremy volunteered to assist with the often very tedious task of editing articles for the journal. I know a lot of you can relate to that, and quickly made himself so indispensable that he was almost immediately elevated to executive editor. A gifted writer, Jeremy reviewed space law books for the journal and led student teams that slogged through articles on everything from space resource utilization to the militarization of space to education in space law. In the classroom, Jeremy was an avid participant who authored no less than 2 papers that will be published this year. His master's thesis on the implications of the US Space Force is both timely and insightful, a text that we are confident will be visited and revisited by legal practitioners and scholars as we navigate the next phase of space activities. An officer in the US Air Force, Jeremy will be teaching space law at the United States Air Force Academy. We are proud that the University of Mississippi is able to contribute to the education of our military personnel with respect to these important strategic issues. Jeremy, the cadets are lucky to have you. Thank you for your contributions and congratulations.
Thank you, Professor Hanlon. That was very nice. I am going to look to Macy to make sure that I am ready to have a little toast, or do I need to do anything else? Okay. Okay, so I just want to make sure I've got my schedule right. When I was thinking of things to toast you all with, I came across one, and it just seemed particularly fitting this year because, as you know, your classmate Kanisha was gone this spring semester, and she was actually had a great opportunity to work with Cory Booker. And so I found something he had said once at a graduation, and I thought, oh, this is perfect because we have a classmate among us who was just with him, and I thought his words are really good. So I am going to plagiarize his words and give you this little toast to go out on. So he once told a graduating class, you're going to go out for the big challenges, the big fights. I see you. I love you. You're going to have tough days. You're going to fall. You're going to fail. But I see you and I love you. May your vision and your love not just change the world, but make a world of change for everyone that you can. Your faculty and staff, we see you, we love you. Congratulations and cheers to everyone. Cheers. Well, we hope you all have a really special afternoon and get to celebrate for this huge accomplishment in your professional life. And we are very committed to having an in-person graduation, as is the university. So we just will keep you posted about what's going to happen there. And if you all need anything, you know where to find us. Please just reach out to us, but don't be strangers. I hope all of you will stay as engaged and involved as you have been as students. And we need you all to get the next set of lawyers to come behind you. So we will be calling on you, I hope, to help us keep the wonderful tradition of our law school alive. So we could not be prouder of you, and we see you and we love you. And thank you so much for joining us today. Bye-bye.